Ben was small, even for his 13 years, but his heart was big, filled with the desire to learn the ancient craft of the blacksmith. He worked hard, his small hands already calloused, swinging the hammer, mastering the anvil. The forge was his world, its fiery heart a constant companion. Each hiss of the bellows, each clang of metal was a song of creation. Ben loved it. The forge was old, passed down through generations, its stones blackened by countless fires. It held a magic, a life of its own. Ben felt it in the way the fire danced, in the way the metal yielded under his hammer. It was more than just work, it was a partnership, a dance between boy and fire. One day, while working late, Ben noticed something strange. The fire, usually so vibrant and alive, seemed subdued, almost trapped. The flames flickered nervously, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. He could have sworn he heard whispers in the roar of the fire. Whispers that spoke of ancient magic and a being of immense power. Ben, his young heart pounding, cautiously approached the forge. He peered into the heart of the flames, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. There, amidst the dancing flames, he saw it, a face etched in fire, its eyes burning with a desperate plea for freedom. Guided by the spirit's instructions, Ben began the ritual. He worked through the night, the rhythmic clang of his hammer the only sound in the silent village. It was a dangerous task, fraught with risk. One wrong move, one mistimed strike, and the forge could explode, taking him and half the village with it. But Ben was undeterred. He poured all his skill, all his love for the forge, into each strike of his hammer. He could feel the heat of the spirit's magic growing, the air crackling with anticipation. Finally, with a deafening roar, the stone that imprisoned the spirit crumbled. The fire spirit erupted from its prison in a blinding flash of light and heat. It towered above Ben, its form shifting and swirling, a vortex of raw power, but in its eyes, Ben saw gratitude and something else. A flicker of ancient malice, a hunger for something more than just freedom. "You have freed me, boy," the spirit boomed, its voice echoing with the power of 1,000 storms. "Now I will fulfill my end of the bargain. Ask, and it shall be yours." Ben, awestruck by the spirit's power, could only stammer. He hadn't thought about a reward. He just wanted to help. Section 4. Freedom's chaos, a village in peril. The fire spirit, however, had other plans. It had been imprisoned for centuries, its anger and resentment festering. Now, free from its stone and iron cage, it unleashed its fury upon the world. The village, once a peaceful haven, was engulfed in flames. Ben watched in horror as the spirit, his savior, became their destroyer. The creature he had freed was no longer the scared voice in the flames. It reveled in the chaos, growing larger, more fearsome with each passing moment. Panic gripped the village. People screamed, running for their lives as houses burned and the sky rained embers. Ben, his heart heavy with guilt and fear, knew he had to stop the spirit. He had unleashed this chaos, and he had to find a way to contain it. The spirit, drunk on power, laughed at Ben's pleas. "You cannot control me, little blacksmith," it roared, its voice a symphony of destruction. "I am fire, I am chaos, I am free." But Ben, despite his fear, refused to give up. He had made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but he would try to set it right. Section 5. The weight of sacrifice, the chains of duty. Ben remembered the lessons of the forge. He remembered the delicate dance between fire and control, the way a blacksmith could shape metal with heat and force. He realized that the spirit, for all its power, was still bound by the laws of its nature. It craved freedom, but it also craved purpose, a vessel for its power. He worked tirelessly, forging a cage, not of cold iron, but of something far more powerful, his own courage, his own willingness to sacrifice. He would offer himself as a vessel, a new prison for the rampaging spirit. The spirit laughed at his audacity, but Ben stood his ground, the small metal cage outstretched, an offering and a challenge. He would trade his freedom for the safety of his village, his life for the lives of his people. The fire spirit paused, its fiery gaze fixed on the small, determined figure of the apprentice. It sensed the boy's resolve, the depth of his sacrifice. And in that moment, something shifted within the heart of the inferno. The fire spirit saw not just a prison, but a purpose, a chance to atone for the destruction it had wrought. The essay ends here, leaving the reader to ponder the outcome. Will the fire spirit accept Ben's sacrifice? Will Ben become a prisoner of his own making? The answers, like the flames of the forge, flicker with uncertainty, reminding us of the delicate balance between freedom and responsibility, chaos and control.